Alright, Playboys, we back. And we have the Datamines for Emblem Ike. A pretty awesome release. I mean, let's be real here. We've all been waiting for a really good Ike unit for quite some time. They've not been able to do a good Ike unit for whatever reason. Ever since Fallen Ike had his run, we have not had an Ike that was a meta contender up until now. So it's really awesome that they gave us a good Ike at last. And this boy is absolutely going to tear ass. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the stuff in the Datamine. We've got info for his B skill. We've got his stats, as we can see here. And we also have a couple of other things to take a look at. So let's start with his artwork first. Now, I'm kind of iffy about the neutral artwork. I think it's just the perspective is a little bit off. Like, his head looks kind of tiny. But then his legs and his feet look kind of big. It's kind of weird. Like, the perspective is a little bit off. But other than that, I think the artwork is actually pretty clean. Alright, this is where it starts getting good, though. So our boy does have a unique artwork for each slot, which is nice. And here is the attacking one. Pretty good. Have him rushing in with Ragnall there, and then all of the blueness of being an Emblem hero. Alright, here is the special attack art. They went way over the top with the effects here. I think it's a little bit much. He just looks like he's swimming, basically. He's wading through all the water. Like, did they really need to put that much of a blue effect on him? I don't know. I would have liked to see, like, his actual, like, clothing have color and stuff, but it's all, like, washed out from the blue. Emblem Ike or Emblem Marth had this as well. He had the blue effect from being an Emblem hero, but it wasn't like this much. This is over the top. All right, and then finally we have the injured artwork here. Oh, you know what this looks like? This kind of reminds me of his stance in Smash Brothers when he does the down B. Like when he's doing his counter. Isn't this the stance that he uses for the counter in Smash Bros? I haven't played Smash Bros in a while, but if someone has, let me know in the comments if I'm right about that. But this does look familiar. All right, so pretty good look in here for our boy Ike. All right, next up we have the stats, of course, from our boy Gengar and Tsukasa. All right, so let's also do his BST while we're at it. Okay, so he's got 41 HP. We've got 47 attack. We have 18 speed. We've got 45 defense, and then we have 42 res, which is awesome to see. For once, they decided to actually give Ike some good res. Usually, they, like, kind of balance him by giving him needless points in speed. Like, he'll have, like, 30 to 35 points of speed and then, like, 18 points of res. It's nice that they flipped it around this time and gave him more res and less speed. Because at this point in the game's life, like, you really need to be focused on doing one thing. Like, either you're going to be a tank and you've got monstrous defenses, or you're going to be an offensive unit and you've got monstrous attack and speed. You can't really do both right now because, like, you're missing out on a lot of key stat points if you try to do that. So it's nice that they hooked him up with good res. We've got 193 for the BST overall, which is pretty awesome. That's in line with all of these infantry melee types at the moment. And another cool thing about him being an Emblem hero is that you can just go ahead and give him any blessing you want. So you're able to run him in any arena season if you want to, or like give him Astra and Anima blessings and Light Season blessings and stuff like that. So you'd be able to run him wherever you want pretty much, which is a bonus. And then for his boons and banes, let's see what we've got here. Okay, it looks like a bane on HP. Okay, we got a super boon on attack, of course. Ike is the man with the muscle power, so you would expect him to have plus attack. All right, looks like nothing on speed, and then we got, oh, plus defense is nice to see. All right, do we have plus res as well? No, it does, oh, doesn't look like it. That would have been the icing on the cake if he had plus res also. But we're fine with plus attack and defense. That should be good enough. Honestly, I would have preferred plus res and plus attack, actually. Because, like, I feel like he's going to be tanking res threats a little more often. Right now, the offensive serious threats are running around our res type. So, units like Legendary Camilla, we've got Duo Leon, Duo Micaiah. Or, I mean, Duo Micaiah, I guess, the resurgence of the Bride one. But the one I meant to say was Duo Sanaki, actually. So, like, there's a lot of res threats going around, so a little extra res would have been nice. But we'll take the defense for sure. Now, I feel like Ike is actually going to be a phenomenal unit. We've already started to see a comeback on these, I don't want to say like Omni tanks, but like these really well-off defensive infantry type units. We've seen a couple of them lately, like the Legendary Male Lear and also the Attuned Sheeta and like Desert, Altina, like those types of units that can just stand in the front lines, and it's really tough to get through them. I feel like Ike is going to be another one of those type of units where it's really tough to break through them unless you've got like the absolute pinnacle of wall breaking potential on your team. So going to be good for him. He can just front line really good. And what's also good about that is we have so many units now that can, well, I guess not so many units, but we have the Wind Tribe Dagger and we have also the Mythic Dagger that can both support with Ike and give him Pathfinder. So when you're putting him in the front lines and it's tough for the enemies to get rid of him, he's also enabling your units to push in a little bit further with that Pathfinder. So he's going to be a really nice combo with like Dagger, Wind Tribe Dagger, Mythic Dagger, and Duo Dagger and things like that. So really good there. And he's got this really good B skill too, so let's take a look at this. I actually want to just like talk about his B skill for a sec after we take a look at the restrictions here. So Laguz Friend 3 is going to be the prerequisite, unfortunately. So you would have to pick up all 4 copies of this skill in one go, and then you can get like one other thing with your 5th inherit. Kind of sucky, but I mean, it is what it is. At least this is an inheritable skill, and it's really good. And then you can give this to any infantry type unit. No weapon restrictions whatsoever. I was kind of stunned to see that Tomes can get this too. We're going to talk about why that's good in just a moment, but like Tomes getting this, Dragons getting this, a Beast unit, literally Beasts are able to get it. So the name Laguz Friend is not for nothing, which is pretty awesome there. So let's take a look at this skill. This skill is doing just so many things. Like, look at this. Okay, so we get attack -5 for free. Obviously, that's very good for tanking units. If your max special cooldown count value is greater than or equal to 3, and your attack can trigger a special, or if the foe's attack can trigger your special, then you reduce the percentage of your non-special DR effects by half. So what this means is if you've got a skill like Close Call or Guard Bearing or whatever that's giving you pierceable DR, you're cutting that pierceable DR by half, and the trade-off is that you're gaining true DR based on defense or res, whichever is higher. Now, the res being available there is really good. So if you're running like this skill on mage type units, like you could give this to Bastion, you could give this to a lot of crazy mage type units. I guess Duo Ymir and stuff like that. Units that may have more res and may want to get it based on res, they can do that. And it's still available for defense as well. It's just adaptive to whichever stat is higher. 20% of that as true defense or true damage reduction, which is really good. Certainly makes up for the loss in pierceable DR. And then you're also getting special cooldown count -2 before the foe's first attack. So this is the same effect that the Baby Ike had on his, like, whenever the enemies attack him, he gets the -2 immediately. Same thing goes for, like, Brave Tiki. So this is a really good way to do this. Just in combat -2 instead of out of combat -2 like Special Spiral 4. Makes it a lot harder to mess with you with, like, Pulse Smoke effects or, like, Duo Mark or Duo Baby Ike, in fact. Like, those effects that pulse the opponents and stop them from having pre-charged specials. Not really going to work so much on this skill. So, in a way, this is actually like a new version of Special Spiral 4. It's just like the defensive Special Spiral 4. Okay, then also during combat, if your max special cooldown count value is greater than or equal to 3, and your attack can trigger your special, when you deal damage with your special, or when your special triggers, you deal damage equal to 20% of the greater of your defense or res. So here you're getting bonus damage now, true damage based on defense or res, whatever is higher, if you're attacking special, or if you're attacking with a damage-based special like Bonfire, Ignis, Dragon's Rage, whatever offensive special you may want to use. So getting some bonus damage there. And you're also nullifying enemies' reduced damage by X%. So you're nullifying damage reduction on top of that, which is pretty awesome. So bonus damage, true damage based on defense or res, nullify enemies' damage reduction. You're getting your own true damage based defense, and then, or true damage reduction based on defense or res. And also you're getting the in-combat Special Spiral too. This skill is just nutty, man. Like, what the hell is this B skill? This is so much better than Potent 4, it's not even funny. Like, compared to the one that Emblem Marth had. Alright, and then also, we have another effect here. This is in case you want to use a defensive special, like if you want to run Pavis or Aegis instead of, like, Bonfire or whatever. So, if in combat, if your foe's attack can trigger your special, like we said, like Pavis and Aegis, Then your next attack deals 20% of the greater of your defense or res, and then you also nullify damage reduction effects from the enemy's attacks. So it has a different effect for each type of special you may want to use, which gives it a little bit of versatility, I guess, or like variance if you want to do one thing or the other. So pretty cool stuff there. Very, very powerful skill. So let's go ahead and take a look here. And I've pulled up all of the infantry type units that are currently in the game. Let's just quickly skim through here. Let's see if there's anything worthwhile. So legendary male Alir, this guy runs, what is his default? He's got Bulwark 4, speed and res. So that's fine for him. But you could also run this on him as well. He's getting non-pierceable DR anyway from his special, which is, what is it called again? Dragon's Roar. So, like, that's not going to be impacted by Laguz Friend. And then if you wanted to, you could even give him Emblem Ike's Ring as well. Let's see here. How much cooldown? Actually, it wouldn't work, right? Because this guy, his special costs 3 hits. And then he's got -1 special triggers. So that brings it down to a 2-hit. You got to be really careful with Laguz Friend. You want to make sure you're giving it to a unit that has a 3-hit cooldown special. So if they have a 3-hit special like Bonfire, but then their weapon has -1, it's not going to work out so nicely. So you have to be mindful of that at least. All right, so who would be an example then? Like Fa, I guess? Like Fa has Life Unending, right? That's a 5-hit special. So if you wanted to, you could give her the non-pierceable DR from Ike's Ring, and then that also just gives her Miracle and then a full heal with non-pierceable DR. Like, all of a sudden, like, Legendary Fa is kind of, believe it or not, like, kind of viable right now. All right, there's a lot to look through, but I mean, as we said before, being able to give this to beasts and dragons and tome units is, like, so nuts. I don't know how, like, in-depth I want to go. Let's just leave it at that, I guess. You guys get the picture. It's a really good beast skill. So my consensus on Emblem Ike, he's really good. I'm definitely going to be summoning for him, but I don't really have too many orbs. His banner is going to be up for a while, though. So, like, by the time we get the next Tempest Trial for the baby banner, I should be able to farm up those and get the orbs from there. And I'll be able to use them up to Ike's banner and try to get to a spark and pull him there. So I think that's what I'll go for. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about Emblem Ike? Seems like a pretty awesome unit. And, of course, his beast skill is also pretty awesome. So that's going to wrap us up for this one. This is your boy Tacho signing out. So take care, fellas. And I'll catch y'all again on the flip side.